So do you want to move on to some power moves?
Yeah, let's get to it, man. It looks like Yannick is just traveling the world. He said, "Fuck it, I quit my NFL pursuits. I'm gonna do that one movie with what's his name, 80 Days Around the World with Jackie Chan." Anyway, yeah, dude, I this was really surprising when it happened, and also as a Jaguars fan, a tearjerker. That defense is supposed to be ours, but it's not.
I mean, they only got two Jaguars on there. It's not like they're taking over everybody.
No, but I mean, we could. I mean, Calais didn't want to leave. Yeah, Yannick wanted to leave, but of course, I think you just look back and be like, what could have been, right? They could still
Yeah.
be on this team producing, especially when the defensive line for Jacksonville is like, you could literally punch through them. They're like a piece of paper. But anyway, yeah, I thought that was super surprising, and at the time, it really didn't make sense to me, especially for what they traded for him. Like the Ravens won that trade through and through. Like I don't even understand what the Vikings did. But the only thing I could think of why they did this trade, because he was producing on the field. The only reason I
Yeah,
could
I
think
think he's
of,
leading the league against sacks right now, or he's tied for the lead.
I think so. He has 5 sacks through 6 games. So
Yeah.
he's so if you, I mean, obviously if you get 1 sack a game, you're gonna have at least freaking 16 sacks, which
Yeah.
is incredible production at the rate he was going, I guess. But what I think happened is he was on another shitty team again, and he did not want to go through with that. He did not. So I think that he was not going to sign with the Vikings at the end of the year. I don't think he was ready to go through whatever the Vikings are going to go through, whether it's a mini rebuild, a completely rebuild, or sticking with Kirk Cousins even next year, whatever the hell they're going to do. But I just think he did not want to do that again. And he probably told them, like, listen, I'm not signing at the end of the year. So I think that the Vikings were like, all right, fuck it, trade this guy. If he's not going to sign with us, then just trade him. Let's get what we can for him. That's the only reason I could see them getting rid of him. Unless he, like, completely didn't, sacks are one thing, stats are one thing. And you can get, like, garbage time sacks, you know what I mean? Or garbage sacks where, like, the quarterback, trips and you just fall on top of him and get those things. You can get a lot of sacks doing stunts. So I don't know how much. I haven't watched a lot of him to be like, yeah, he's winning his one on ones and he's dominating. But it's the only thing I could think of why the Vikings would get rid of him. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I think, I mean, there was, stories that he's been trying to get to Baltimore where he's from since he was still with Jacksonville. And I can see Jacksonville, not wanting to keep him in conference, although that's usually it's only in division. But I can see Jacksonville being like, yeah, you know what, we'll move him to the NFC so we don't have to worry about him. And then, I mean, essentially Minnesota rented him for a one round pick because they gave up was it a second and a fifth for
Yeah.
to Jacksonville. So they got back a third and a fifth. So essentially they got their fifth round pick back and they traded a second for a third, albeit a high second for a low third. So I mean they essentially rented Yannick for 6 games or 5 games, and then like you said they probably realized like we're not as good as we thought we were gonna be. Captain Kirk isn't working out right now. We're probably gonna be going towards a rebuild or a semi rebuild. So if this guy's not going to stay with us, let's just, get our picks back, I guess. And we just, have to swallow the loss of one round. But yeah, I think you're right as far as Yannick realizing that he doesn't want to be on another shitty team or another team that might be going through a rebuild. He wants to win now, and Baltimore gives him that best chance. And I mean, if you compare the defenses between Baltimore and Minnesota, he's in much better hands in Baltimore. I mean, the team that he's got around him now with Campbell and Judon and um, who the hell's the other outside or defensive end there?
Oh, they got Derek Wolf, I think, on the
Yeah,
other end.
Derek Wolf.
Um,
Even like their linebacking core and secondary are amazing too. So I think you know what Baltimore does offensively and how good Lamar Jackson is, and this is just another piece in the defense where he can be productive and contribute to a team that is a potential Super Bowl contender rather than, a bottom feeder, I guess, at this point for Minnesota.
Yeah, for sure. And the only thing I could think of is like, yeah, he wanted to go back home, and he's from Maryland. The only thing I could think of is he didn't like for him to not succeed in Baltimore. I guess is if he doesn't have the freedom he had. Depending on the way they scheme their defensive ends, if they want him, if they allow them, I guess the freedom of pass rush, don't lose contain and all that type of stuff. So there might be a dip in production in case there's a change in philosophy. But by all accounts, though, he has a really good supporting cast around him where he would draw some one-on-one attention. Or if he does draw the double team, then the other guys win. So I think he's going to enjoy being in Baltimore, being close to home, and being on a team that's going to compete for a playoff spot and possibly make a run at that Super Bowl. So power moves to him, I guess, for getting his way
Yeah.
out of there. I guess.
I mean, he put himself in a great situation in Baltimore. And yeah, I mean, like you said, he made a scary defense even scarier. He's either going to get those one-on-one matchups that he can win, or he's going to draw double teams to help out the other guys. Not that they need that help, but it's always good to
Yeah,
have.
yeah, and I don't know what their cap situation is like, but obviously he's on his not his rookie deal. Yeah, he's still on his rookie deal. Um, but he's on that franchise
Yeah,
tag
franchise,
technically
yeah.
still, right? Yeah, so I don't know what the cap situation is like heading, for Baltimore next year if he resigns, but I feel like if they're a good team and he's at home and being able to play in Maryland, they might be able to sign him to a long-term deal if that's their plans if he works out. So, yeah, I think it's definitely a win in Yannick's book. I'm sure he's excited. Like I'm sure he's not minding taking a couple extra airplane trips.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have cap space next year, but that's because I think Matt Judon and Ronnie Stanley are on the last years of their contract. So I think that might be why they're going to clear up a lot of cap. So I don't know how they're going to work in Yannick, but
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I think even for him, if he doesn't resign in Baltimore and just has a successful season, he's a free agent again, and he can work with other teams he wants to go to. Whereas this year he didn't get that luxury because he got tagged by Jacksonville.
right.
I don't see Baltimore tagging him. So, but obviously it's the NFL. Teams do whatever they want with these guys. So, but yeah, ultimately I think it's a win for him.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for listening in to this clip of the Moose Bros podcast. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment below, and subscribe to this channel to see more clips just like this one. If you want to listen to the whole podcast, you can find us at Spotify or Apple Podcasts under Moose Bros Sports.